Once again, welcome back to the newest episode of the Swordmaster anime, but last time we saw Beryl was in a fight against the commander of Mage Corp Lucy. As a swordsman, Beryl holds out quite well against the mage lady, so Lucy decided to test out every new offensive spell she learns on Beryl from now on. Well, anyways, Beryl was a sword saint to say the least, because mostly all of his students were top-notch swordsmen, one of whom was Lysandra, a black rank adventurer. And seeing this, the guild master asked Beryl to train rookie adventurers, but the assistant of the guild master wanted to check Beryl's skill himself, and made him fight against Lysandra. Lysandra's real name was Surina, and when she was a kid she lost her parents in a monster attack. It was Beryl who saved her life and pulled her out of darkness. So she was over the moon she got to fight Beryl, and Beryl, he easily defeats Lysandra, and soon he was assigned 3 new adventurers to train. They went to the dungeon, and everything was fine until they tried to get out of the dungeon. It was a griffin who made a surprise attack on them. It was a special category monster. All the special monsters are called name monster, and running into this type of monster is a sheer bad luck. Beryl made sure Surina had healing potions, because Beryl planned to have her fight the griffin while he goes over to heal the kid who is injured. Beryl even signals Lysandra, but Lysandra misinterpreted it and thought Beryl told her to leave the monster to him and help the kid. A good way to die hard, I would say. But Beryl was also a tough nut to crack. He gave a good fight, but that thing's scales were hard as rock, and by the time Lysandra got the kids to safety, the monster was really going hard on him. Yet Beryl tried to attack, but had that fire breath attack, which was being a pain. Even so, Beryl got an opening that he took and cut out its tail. So the monster becomes enraged and took Beryl through the trees in the forest. Yet Beryl managed to climb on its back, so the griffin took off in the sky at high speed, and then brings him back to where it all began. After that, Griffin used his lava magic to turn everything in the area into molten lava. It spreads out all the way into the dungeon. Even the roof started to melt down. So Beryl had very little time to beat this thing up, or else the kids inside will burn to death, but its rock-hard scales and fire breath were such a pain to deal with. So Beryl goes for its eye and successfully makes the thing pissed, but that's when Lysandra jumped in and killed it off with her strike. It was a good last-minute clutch, but she still gives the full credit to Beryl. Anyways, the injured kid is going to be fine, and Beryl felt relieved. It reminds Lysandra of good old training days, and then back at Guildmaster and his assistant were surprised that the two killed a name monster while protecting the kids. Even now, Lysandra gives the credit to Beryl, so Guildmaster thought Beryl should be an adventurer, but Beryl declined immediately. Beryl was humble and thinks that everyone is making so much hype over him for nothing, and there Lysandra apologized to Beryl because she's the one who got him in this mess. If she hadn't praised Beryl so much in front of Guildmaster, he wouldn't have decided to hire him, and he wouldn't have fallen into this danger. But Beryl doesn't think Lysandra did anything wrong. Instead, he was happy to see her doing so well. Those words just struck her heart with love and admiration for Beryl so hard that she wished to train with him again like old times, but she holds that for now. And then, afterwards, Kuruni was taking Beryl to a blacksmith friend of hers. Beryl broke his sword fighting that griffin, so he needs a new one. Beryl wanted to know who the guy is, but Alicia was tagging along as well. She makes up that as a commander it's her job to help Beryl, but she just wanted to have her chance to spend time and help Beryl like Kuruni and Lysandra did. So she didn't want to miss this one chance. Anyways, Beryl asked about the blacksmith, but Kuruni tells him to be patient and see for himself. His name was Balder, and Beryl recognized him instantly. They met after a long time. Balder used to be a student of Beryl as well. Apparently, he's the only one who was older than Beryl in the student he taught until now. Apparently, Balder wanted to learn swordsmanship to know the feel of sword in action for his blacksmithing skills. Then first Kuruni wanted to have some maintenance done on her short sword, but Balder saw it's better if she gets a new one. This sword's near its limit. So Beryl asked her how she feels with this sword, and she said light. That's a wrong matchup. A holder needs to feel the weight of their weapon to match the balance. So Beryl suggested her the long sword. Holding it, Kuruni felt neither heavy nor light. So it seems like this suits her far better than the short sword. Kuruni instantly purchased it, and now after her Beryl also decided to pick his poison. Alicia wanted to order a custom order sword, but Beryl said he's fine with a regular one. But then comes Lysandra, and as usual both ladies were always on edge seeing each other. Anyways, Lysandra was here to have Balder make a sword using name Monster Scale. Balder was over the moon, and Lysandra said she wants a sword for Beryl. Lysandra still thinks it was her fault that Beryl was put in danger, so she wants to make amends. Balder also tells Beryl to just accept it, and finally Beryl did. But actually Balder just wanted to get his hands on that scales to work, a real nerdy blacksmith for sure, but then Kuruni asked Beryl to teach her the long sword fighting techniques. Long sword has 2 grips a user could use. At first none gets it, and thinks it's hard to swing it, but Beryl reminds her to use hip movements to perfectly swing it. Kuruni was a quick learner and learned its momentum, and after that, Beryl had a good meal in the tavern and goes off happily, but a kid tried to steal his money, and Beryl caught her. But she turned out to be a mage, and used fire to escape. She works for a gang, and the leader knew she would always do her job of bringing him money because she has no other option, but she realized she dropped her ring back while escaping, and Beryl found it. So the next part will be a fight with this gang. And right there our episode 4 ends. So stay tuned to watch the next episode, and for that subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Till then, take care.